Man, when I tell you it was time to divvy up the payments.
Yeah.
And, here you go, ma'am. This is the time that was allotted, and this is everything that we did. She said, huh?
All right, so we're here in the studio on a Friday night. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Jermaine Lord. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I appreciate you putting me on here. I would like to be now introduced as HouseFlippingTre.
HouseFlippingTre. All right, so this is what I mean when I say, like, we talk about anything. I met with, do you know Dana Wynn?
Yes.
She's a lender.
Yes.
She we were talking about social media, and she was like, do you know HouseFlippingTre? Like, she said it like that. Do you know HouseFlippingTre? And I was like, oh yeah, he's in my office, Jermaine Lord. I don't know, I just brought it up because you were bringing up your social media.
I actually met her at one of the investing meetings at the office in the past, so I'm not sure if that was before or after, but yeah, super sweet, super nice.
She is. But this episode, it's not about her. It's all about you and all about the bombs that you're going to drop and share with the lovely viewers at home. So I do want to start just by, for anyone who is not familiar with you or your content or anything like that, do you just want to give a brief summary about who you are and what you do, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I am a go-getter. I am an entrepreneur. I don't think there's much out there that myself or anybody else out there cannot do. I am an official motivator. Okay. True. So with that being said, investing is my life. Real estate investing is the arena I like to battle in, and I like to teach others how it's possible, from learning how to identify an opportunity to where that could get you paid, or could become something that will be residual as passive income from a rental.
Cool. So since we're starting off talking about real estate, I do want to ask you, I don't know, I always debate with people about the importance of getting into real estate and investing and cash flow. So I'm curious to know, I guess, what your overall theories and opinions are on real estate as a whole, on getting property to cash flow, or because you do, I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but you do real estate, not as much as an agent, but you kind of have your own business and stuff going on. So I know I kind of packed a lot in one question, but if you want to talk a little bit about, I guess, the importance of real estate investing and maybe a little bit about what you do on that end, whatever you're willing to share.
Yeah. I think cash flow is king when it comes to real estate investing. A lot of other individuals, they might say, they go for appreciation, but anything could turn around the quote unquote equity that might be on the table. So with that being said, cash flow is king.
I get debates with the haters on social media, and they're like, why are you trying to buy real estate? Why don't you just save your money and then at like 50 or 60 go retire? Or I had one guy, how about you just go to Italy, or you do some other country? And I'm like, dude, you need real estate. Like, you need real estate, you need the cash flow, you need to build up a portfolio, get some money coming in.
100%. I believe, and I'm going to backtrack on this one, right? So cash flow is king. And we could look at it as simple as monopoly, where if you are able to get as many single family homes and then upgrade to the hotels or quote unquote, multifamily properties, you're going to win that game, because the more people that land on your property become tenants. Let's look at it in real life. Those are now your tenants. You're going to be now receiving cash flow from those individuals each month, right? And depending, there's more variables, right? Before we go into cash flow, right? There's expenses, there's vacancies. So you want to make sure that all your expenses will now be a lot less than the money that you get in from your tenants, and that's what will be your cash flow, right? So money, subtract that by the expenses, that's your now cash flow for the property. I'll say as simple as that. Why not do that in real life?
Yeah.
Play Monopoly in real life.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. I'm curious, just kind of as you bring up, making sure that the money coming in is more than your expenses. Because I feel like every agent or a lot of people are very different with this. Do you have a specific way or a special way that you kind of analyze deals, or is there a certain approach you take to looking for deals? Because I feel like people watching, that's always something that people are curious about. If they want to get into real estate, they're like, how do I find a deal? What's a deal look like? Is this house on the corner that just looks disheveled, or I don't know, maybe it looks fine. Is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal?
You would have to run the numbers. With that being said, there's different calculators up there. There's different sources of information. One of them will be from like Bigger Pockets. I know Bigger Pockets, they have a couple of tools that you could utilize to help you run the numbers on a potential opportunity. I don't even like calling them deals, on a potential opportunity, right? That may be a deal. I'll say use those tools, to the best of your knowledge and of your market, because every market varies. But put the numbers into those calculators and see, does it make sense for you to purchase that property, and what type of return are you looking at?
Okay. Yeah. That's I feel like it's easier said than done. I like the way you said it, but it's sometimes I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, it's tough, man. I don't know how to find these deals." But I do want to say this one thing as I'm thinking about deals. For you guys watching, Trey like hustles like insanely. Whenever I come in the office, whenever he's here, he's making calls. Just now, he's making calls. He's got his letters. He's just like crushing the lead gen and crushing the output, which is insane. I do want to kind of ask about that a little bit too. How, I guess, you seem like you're big on volume when it comes to like lead gen and kind of finding, I guess, as you said, opportunities rather than, I guess, deals. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to like entrepreneurship, they get in and they have the if I build it, it'll come mentality. How do you feel about that mentality? Do you think that's a real thing?
What is the I will build it? What do you mean exactly? Is it that?
Like I was guilty of this myself. You kind of jump into something and you think, since I jumped into it, or since I have this idea, it'll work. Like by default, you think that the idea, like when you first kind of started your business, did you jump in and just think, okay, I have this idea, I'm going to do it. And since I have the idea, it's so good that people just buy from me. People are just going to want to buy real estate or do these deals with me, or I don't know if does that make sense?
Yeah. I believe I was thinking about that earlier today, where you really have to delay instant gratification in real estate, I believe, as well, because you're going to look at tons of deals or opportunities that could be a potential deal, and any little thing could destroy that opportunity for you. Could be a title that's clouded. Could be a probate situation where the owner might not have rights to actually sell you that home because they're not the actual owner. There's a lot of different things that could kill that opportunity. So going back to what you were saying, you really just have to put in the work, put your head down, because there was times when I was doing the work and I could literally, I feel like I could bring myself back in those situations where I'm putting out letters or I am calling potential sellers, and then there's that seed of doubt that somehow creeps in, and you're thinking, am I doing all this in vain?
Yeah.
Is this, who am I to think that this might really work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say put your head down, just go to work, and just, we live in a society now where if I want Chipotle, I could press a couple buttons on my phone and get that sent to me. I don't even have to call them no more.
Yeah.
I don't have to pick up a phone or order Pizza Hut possibly. I could get it sent to me just by pressing a couple buttons on the app. So it's tough, and you might low-key go insane, but I think it's definitely going to be a better story at the end.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I have a philosophy. I feel like anyone who does anything entrepreneurial is to a degree a little insane, because you have to kind of, I don't know, I feel like no matter what, you have to attempt something multiple times and fail. We talked about failure on your show. By the way, shout out to Trey for letting me be on his show. What was that, like a few weeks ago?
Yeah, thank you for coming up there and being a part of that, and actually sharing some of your experiences in entrepreneurship early on in your years as well. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. But yeah, no, I feel like entrepreneurs are insane because you're just trying stuff over and over again, and you can go like years and it just doesn't work, and then maybe have like a breakthrough year or have a good year, and then it kind of clicks and then makes sense. But to me, it's like almost insanity, because it's like, who would try something for like a year or two or months or whatever only to keep failing? But
no, that's true. I think I'm not sure if it was you that posted something or someone else, but basically they're saying entrepreneurship is like basically putting your hand over a stove over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But you might be doing a different tactic this time. You might go from the angle. You might not look and do it. I don't know what it may be, but you're getting burnt multiple times. But eventually, something happens.
Yeah. I think I put something up like that. Yeah. Speaking of failures, we talked a little bit about this on your show, taking L's. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but for the people watching my show, could you share the story about you with the was it moving company?
Yo, it's one of my favorite stories, and I have to laugh through it because it helps you from not to cry. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy it was. But so, as I was telling you before, at one time I did have a moving service. You see like 2 men in a truck kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine and I, we actually went out, got a truck. We were just thinking about flipping things at first, and things kind of got sour, but eventually, I took it over for myself or whatever, and I basically just grinded, and somehow, some way, out there just throwing out flyers, going to different leasing apartment complexes and things like that. I was getting calls. I was getting a couple of calls like every weekends, right? So at that time, I was working a job. I would basically take any time out I can as possible, switch with somebody else. So long story short, let's fast forward to that phone call I get. She gives me an itemized list of things that, we're going to pick up. So, I said, okay, this is going to take maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever, something like that. That's still a long day, but it's not bad, right? But when I got to the property, and when I got to that property, it was just me and another individual, a guy that was helping me out. And
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be a 2-man job, you know. Unfortunately, when we got there, she was not ready. Right? I'm on time. She's not ready. So that was the first red flag. The second red flag was when we eventually did get inside the home looked as if it never was packed up at all. There was things all over the house.
She's like, that's for you guys to do, right?
Yeah. I'm not I never claimed as if I was going to be like one of the packers and go like,
Yeah.
no, I just come and pick it up that you packed already, then I'll go, right?
Yeah.
So got in. So basically we have to move around her packing, right? So that was another red flag. Unfortunately, when we were moving from that, like the first location, which was like a cool condo, you know what I mean, on like the first floor, so not bad, you know, just a few steps to get to the main street, not bad at all. We're leaving. I'm making phone calls, telling some friends like, "Hey, I got a job. Who's trying to get in on it?"
Yeah.
You know? So, because I had a lot. Help. Yeah, I need a lot of help. You know, they had like 10 cats in there.
Oh my God! It sounds like a disaster.
It was crazy, you know. And I remember the landlord came through. And they started having a battle, like a yelling. I never seen anything like that in my life. So I'm talking about just red flags everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, she's telling me, "Oh, I can't do much." She threw her hands in the air, and I see like these wrist wraps on her. She said, "I got a claim going on right now. You know, I can't do anything." You know,
a claim?
It was like an ambulance chaser, bro. Like an ambulance chaser, and I was like, "What's going on here?" But I'm like, "Whatever, right? I'm gonna get paid." You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Let's move these joints as fast as possible. So we get to the next location, and I don't remember, to be honest, if she actually specified, but this house was like on the 4th floor, and there were no elevators, and we literally had to actually take, because the truck that we had, that we itemized all the items for, was not enough. The truck was not adequate size for everything that they had.
Yeah.
So I had to actually do 2 stops, meaning take everything out the first time, go back to the house later on that night. At that time, it was 4 of us out there. It was 4 of us. And like I said, I did not get done that night until around 11 something. So I was out there from like maybe as early as maybe 8, 9 o'clock.
Jesus.
Until 11 p.m. at night.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, you know, hey man, it's whatever, right? We're doing it. We working. We're hard workers.
Yeah.
We are hard workers. We're entrepreneurs. We out here getting it, right? Man, when I tell you it was time to divvy up the payments.
Yeah.
And you know, here you go, man. This is the time that was allotted, and this is everything that we did. She said, "Huh?" I was like,
"She's like, this isn't charity."
I was like, "Hold up, this is." I said, "No, this is." It was $1,600, y'all. It was $1,600, and I was like, "Yeah, you know, we did this much time. We did all this. You know, this is how much we pay per hour. You know, and then we do for the stairs. We put this additional on there."
Yeah.
She said, "Huh?" And I was like, what's going on? She had a friend she had like a gentleman in there. She had a gentleman in there, and I guess he was there to like maybe watch over and see things. And he started helping explain to her.
You give her the invoice, she's like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
What is this piece of
exactly.
paper?
And then eventually, like, you know, like I said, we're just going back and forth now. I'm using pen and paper. Like, I'm doing everything. She had me jump on the phone with her mother, and her mother was like speaking another language. So I'm over here trying to Google Translate, and it was very unfortunate, right? To the point where it hit me, because I believe when I say we, like my friends and family, you know, things like that, we spoke about or thought about this before, like what could happen, what could go wrong.
Yeah.
And that day I realized this was the situation that we were speaking of preventing, and I didn't take action on it. So
it's like a worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, like worst case scenario, what could happen? How to prevent that? And she literally said it. She said, "I didn't sign the contract." I said, "Yep, this is it.
Jeez.
This is it." So, unfortunately, it gets even worse, right? Unfortunately, so like I said, the gentleman was in there.
Yeah.
He felt like he resolved, he helped, right? Like I said, at that night, didn't leave with any payment because we didn't actually finish the full job, unfortunately. Yeah. We actually had to come back the next day to help her move a few more items.
I wouldn't have come back. I would have just been like, she's not paying, so she can deal with the rest herself.
She said, "Hey, you know what? Sorry about that." She hugged me. "Sorry about that. We're gonna take care of everything." Da 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 da. Right?
Yeah.
We go back the second day. Now let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the situation.
All right.
My car broke down. My car broke down like the day before the whole move. So I'm Ubering to my truck that unfortunately at that time broke down. But what's fortunate was the truck was next to a U-Haul. So that was amazing, right?
Jesus.
So I had my items in my my moving truck, like, straps, things like that,
Yeah.
rollers, whatever. That was in my truck. So I'll go there first, or after I'll get the U-Haul, which is right literally on the same street that I parked at. So I Ubered there, hired or bought or rented a U-Haul, rented a U-Haul.
Yeah.
Came back for the second day for extra 2-3 hours, which I told her we're not gonna go no more because we want to stay within her budget.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then after we did the second job, that's the next day.
Yeah.
No payment either.
That's what I'm saying.
No payment either. Sheesh. I should got a contract that first night.
It's like the first day I didn't learn.
Yeah, I should have got the contract. The first night. But yeah, man. And long story short, I think I said that before, but had to go to small claims court, right? And the judge looked at me and said, "Hey, I can't do anything about this." They didn't want. She couldn't even hear me out. As soon as we got up there, she looked at me and said, "Hey, I can't do anything about this." She has, I guess, a bankruptcy right now going on, and
is it like nothing to claim, or Jesus?
I was just stunned, shocked, same way I'm like right now. I didn't know what to do. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, did she at least leave a good review,
bro?
And say, like, these gentlemen,
Yo.
I couldn't pay them, but they did a fantastic job. I highly recommend them to the next people.
Bruh.
She's like, no review. Yeah.
I saw her again one time at the bank. Ironically. Like, I feel life is a game sometimes. Like, it's really just playing with me. So I literally saw her at the bank, and I was confused at first. I was like, what? Literally right here. Like, I'm at the teller table. She's at the other counter. Yeah. And I'm not looking at my teller at all. I'm looking straight at her.
He's looking
like
dead
this.
At her.
She saw me and everything, but she she just went back to her teller, just paid attention over there. But I mean, I was thinking if I should make a scene in this place. Like, is that the money you get from me?
Is that my money?
Is that for me? You know what I mean? But I let it go. My family and friends, they all said, you know what, just let it go. And hey, I lost a lot more than $1,600 that day, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I still had to pay out my team, still had to pay for the U-Hauls, the car ride there, the Ubers, whatever it was. Yeah,
time that you could have got another customer, or at least helped another customer.
A paying customer. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Life. But hey, man, you live and learn.
Yeah.
And you realize that not everybody as trustworthy as possible.
Yeah. It's the whole story, though. One thing that's funny about that story is I feel like everyone who does anything business related, at least if you're starting your own thing, you're going to have a story like that in some way, shape, or form. You're going to have some weird story where someone, like, fucks you over, or it's, like, real, I don't know, just something crazy, just something real weird where, like, the universe almost doesn't want you to win. I don't know. So, that's funny, though. That's a interesting story.
It's a good one. It's a real good one. I like that joke gets better and better every day. Like every day. But like I'm telling you, I wasn't laughing about it back then.
I bet.
Not even close. You know what I mean? This is, I don't know, like probably like 5 years later. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's easier now to laugh about it. You know what I mean? But so many different. She had the nerve to even go when we was at court. She said she won't get a restraining order on me. They just looked at her and laughed.
She sounds crazy.
They just looked at her and laughed and said, "We don't do that here."
We don't do that.
But
here.
That's crazy.
Jeez. Wow. So I'm curious to know, I guess throughout the years of trying things like the moving company, maybe any other ventures you did before, I guess leading up to what you're doing now, what would you say has been maybe the biggest, if not one of the biggest, business lessons that you've learned? Like just something that like maybe throughout the years you can look back and you're like, oh, if I had done this, like it's consistent, like, oh, this thing, had I done this thing or maybe these things, all of these businesses would have worked out a lot better. Or I don't know, maybe I don't know if you have like one thing or a few things that come to mind.
I'll say for the trucking one for sure, I believe I stunted my growth in that business venture because I was not willing to grow my team as much as I wanted to. And I guess that kind of goes into what I believe is a really big factor in any business is having a strong team and strong systems in place where now you're not the main individual doing every single moving piece. And that was my fault. When I first got into the moving business, I wanted to be physically moving because I wanted to be able to keep as much in my pocket. But if I was thinking on a bigger scale, I would go back and work on lead generation more, and then having more clients come in, I'll be able to hire more individuals to help me with the jobs, get more trucks. Yes, I'm not making as much on each job, but it'll be more volume.
Yeah, I like that because a lot of people think they can do it by themselves.
No business is ran by themselves or a major player in the game, at least. You know, you start off maybe by yourself.
Yeah.
But if you really want to remove yourself, and I guess you have to think about what type of lifestyle you want, right? Now, you know, do you want to be the individual that has to work and answer every email and call, 24/7? Or, or if you go on vacation, what happens to you and your business?
Yeah. There's a book. I didn't read all of it. I don't remember what book it was. It was talking about business owners. And maybe it was a Robert Kiyosaki book. I don't know. And whoever it was that wrote the book was talking about how a lot of people, when they get into business, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki, they stay in the small business owner section, which is them basically creating a new job for themselves. And they don't really know how to scale. They don't really know how to outsource. They don't know how to create systems that other people can come in and do, basically. So they go from one job to like a higher paying, but possibly more restrictive job, which to me was interesting because I feel like sometimes I see like some small business owners and I'm like, this person's working 24/7. They make a lot. They make some good 6-figure salary or whatever they pay themselves at this job that they created. But then it's like, is it worth it if you can't, like, if you go on vacation, for example, and you're still answering all the calls, or if you're still doing all the emails, or you can't really leave for a day because you're afraid your employees might destroy the company, like, once you walk away? I don't know. Like, I'm lazy, so the moment I can get out, I'd want to get out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also, like, you have that, and then this happened to me before, where I left the country and I thought, what's going to happen to my business? How's it going to be ran? Who's going to answer the question? Answer the phone? Who's going to continue lead generation? Nobody. if it's by myself.
Yeah. I feel like that goes back to what you were saying about systems. You got to have good systems in a business.
And people.
Yeah, yeah. Good systems and a good team. Good team of people. So, I'm curious about this. This is I'm gonna lean into this softly because I thought about something randomly. Do you think that you brought up teams, and I think about some of the discussions I have with my friends about like dating and stuff like that when it comes to like having a partner? Because my friends roast me because I'm still single, even though it's by choice. But they're like, why don't you date? And I'm just like, well, because for the things I want to do in life, I feel like you have to have a good partner. But I don't know. It's got to be a partner that's in line with your goal. I don't know. What's your take on having a good partner, I guess, as your teammate that kind of keeps you grounded?
Well, I guess it'll definitely be easier, with your journey and involving your partner with your business, if that's the same mindset / goals that they have as well. Because not everybody's into the same thing, right? Your partner might not want anything to do with your business, right?
Yeah.
And it could be maybe they're just not interested in that fields, or they don't want to be involved with what their spouse is doing, or their partner is doing, because they might feel that might be too close of mixing business with pleasure or with family. You know what I mean? So my take, it is what it is. It's either you got in a relationship with somebody early on and you guys are already in the same field, or you all like the same thing, or hey, everybody's team players. Let's just, I want to see my lady, or I want to see my man win. So I'm gonna help them any way I can.
I like that. I think it's a good take on that. So I'm trying to think about I guess if you can go back, I'm just curious, if you can go back, kind of going back to business a little bit. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. If you can go back and maybe teach yourself something that you like, I guess, what would you wish you would have known back then about business or even real estate? Maybe something about real estate you learned that maybe recently or over the past few years it kind of clicked with you, or you kind of learned it and you're like, man, I wish I'd known that when I first started. I would have been way further ahead.
I would say network as soon as possible.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, because when I first started, my real estate investing journey, I guess, it was like the innate nature in me that was kind of selfish, where I didn't want to, do any type of deals with anybody else, So with that itself, that was me starting my growth again, because I'm learning this business on my own. Yes, I'm watching, television, different course materials, YouTube, university, whatever it may be, but I'm not around someone that probably could have got me a lot further sooner by just partnering up with someone that's already doing it, or just seeking somebody like a mentor, something like that.
Yeah. I would say the same thing for me, to be honest, too. Especially the networking thing. I feel like the networking thing is huge, and I'm curious to know your take on this. As you probably know, I actually don't know if you feel the same way about this, but I'm very anti-college. I don't know if we've ever talked about this before.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a little bit.
Okay, like I'm really anti-college, and
ironic.
Why? What?
Didn't you go?
I did, but I still hate it. I still hate it.
That's the irony.
Yeah. No, but I get in debates with people about college because I'm like super anti-college for the most part. There's some things about it I think that's fine, but a lot of it I don't like too much. But I would say, like, if I had, say, children and they wanted to go to college, I would, of course, let them if they have a plan, if they have a goal, something specific. But I would emphasize that I think the best reason for college is the networking, which I feel like when you're in college or when you're younger in general, it's an undervalued, I don't know. It's something that people don't really think to do. Does that make sense at all? Because I feel like in college, that's probably the easiest place to really network and meet like some really cool people that you can kind of do things with in the future. I think as you get older, it's harder to kind of meet people. They have their own schedule. Then as you get older, they might start, like the age we are now, people are starting to get married, they're having kids. So it's like, it's hard to get in contact with this person, hard to like meet with them and get on their schedule or coordinate things. So I don't know. I feel like going what you were saying about the networking thing, I feel like it's definitely undervalued when you're younger. In general, I think it's undervalued, but definitely when you're younger.
I definitely do believe that, going to college, networking, having that is tough, right? You're super young, but try to have a game plan in mind of, like I said, things happen. You switch majors. Things do happen, but regardless, definitely getting to different clubs. Meeting different people. Just understanding it's not really only a time to party, but also to really make, like you said, meaningful relationships with individuals in those clubs, fraternities, sororities, whatever it may be, that it can now become something that's a lifetime relationship.
Yeah.
That would be key because, man, you call them up 10 years later, 5 years later, you never know what possibilities are available.
Yeah. Did you, I want to say Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, maybe, both of them met their business partners in college. And that's why they became business partners. Like, I don't know if this is a true story. I heard like Mark Zuckerberg had like a shirt on backwards. There's probably more to it, but he had like a shirt on backwards and the entire day people were like making fun of him and roasting him. He didn't know why they were making fun of him. And this one guy was like, yo man, your shirt, it's on backwards. That's why people are roasting you. And he flipped it. And then like later they started like hanging out. And then later on, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg. I could be wrong. It could be somebody else. Maybe it was Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. I don't know. Doesn't matter who. But the point is, all the people that roasted him basically missed out on like $1 billion. Is the moral of the story. You should probably network and keep certain people in mind because they could be billionaires one day. And for all those people roasting, they missed out on all that money.
Oh yeah, for sure. One thing I don't know, it might be weird the way I think, right? But I feel like if me and you are at lunch, or something, and I see something in your teeth, and I don't tell you, I feel like there's something wrong. So vice versa, like if I'm sitting somewhere and there's like some, muck on my shirt, but you don't tell me, and you're just staring at it this whole time, I find that totally off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can trust this person. Like, you know what I mean? So that kind of goes to your point a little bit. I'm not sure if it does or not, but I do think about that. And when people do, I guess it might be uncomfortable to let someone know that they're not perfect. Right. Yeah. But if you're able to tell me at a time of like, hey, I'm not aware of something and you could let me know, I definitely respect that.
That's going to be the test one day. I'm going to like put ketchup on my shirt and just walk around all day. I'm going to hang around my boys and be like, which one of my boys is going to be like, yo, Lenny, you got ketchup on your shirt, man.
No, they're gonna roast you for it.
They're gonna roast me.
They're gonna roast you for
$1 billion.
Yeah, they're gonna roast you for it. They're not gonna be like, hey, bro, do you know you got this right here? They're gonna be like, bro, what were you eating?
Yeah. I mean, at least they pointed out though. I guess that's better than nothing. I guess
it depends on what you think.
It's fair. I got another question for you. You ready for this? You're not ready for it?
I'm as ready as you are.
This is So, what would you do if I got some sparkling water right here, right now, sat it on the table? Would you drink from it? No one's gonna get this reference at all. No.
I feel like sparkling water is my it's like my nightcap. You know, I literally drink that almost every night before I go to bed. I'm not sure if it's safe or not, you know, but but that's what I be drinking.
That's good. That's how I know you're a real one.
Hey man, I've had assailants come after me. I've had quite a bit.
Well, now that you bring it up, now I'm kind of curious if you're willing to share about these assailants. I don't know if you.
Hey man, I feel like life is like the university of life. You know, I don't know how to really. It's life has funny ways of telling you what not to do sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
And you may. I might be going on a tangent of a random thing, right? But you may make the same mistake multiple times in different scenarios, right? But until you, I guess, possibly pass that test, you know,
you keep repeating the same mistake until you finally learn.
And then I feel like the university of life or the universe will let you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get harder and harder. Like, each lesson is going to take you back harder. Like, it's going to hit you harder and harder and harder until you realize, like, hey, I'm trying to let you know this is not what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I feel like I've had some times where, like I said, slapped me across the face a couple times, stomped on me a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, took a pack of them to let me know this is not what you need to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask if you have a story, but I don't know if you want to go that deep into the rabbit hole, but because I'm kind of curious, but I don't want to.
Hey, man, you can't. You just got to listen to the universe out there, you know. Don't try to make the same mistake over and over and over.
Yeah.
Like I said, life will hit you harder, I believe, each time you keep making that mistake.
Yeah.
So I think that's just in itself a good mindset or tool or tip to remember, you know. It's the same thing. Keeps reoccurring, different scenarios and different faces, whatever it may be.
You gotta switch it up.
You gotta switch it up, man, or the universe is gonna make you know something ain't right.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Maybe one day in the future, he'll tell the assailant story. But so, is there anything that I did not ask that you wanted to share with the viewers?
No, not really. You know, I feel like I've done it all, man. When I say done it all, I'm talking about different occupations. You know what I mean? Mm. I've done accounting.
Did you really?
Yeah. You know,
I didn't know that.
You know, for like, you know, store chains. You know what I mean? Make sure the numbers are straight.
This guy's keeping secrets over here. He's not shit.
I've done a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Sold insurance, sold life insurance. You know, I do papers. I've done it all, man.
Like
newspapers.
Like okay.
I do newspapers. And like I said, I sold insurance. I feel like I've done quite a bit of different jobs out there. To know, I worked in chocolate factories.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, you know, I saw all the Willy Wonkas and all of them. Like, I feel like after doing all those different occupations and jobs, you start learning and seeing how to value people, right? Because different organizations, they have different cultures of how they treat their employees. And I realized through the times of, you know, those different jobs, I realized how I would like to, you know, treat my staff, you know, my peers, whatever it may be, a certain type of way, you know. So with that being said, definitely treat people to the best of your ability, because you never know when that individual could be a strong factor of helping you out in the future.
Yeah.
You never know, right? I've heard someone say, like, the way you treat somebody that can't help you tells a lot about who you are.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. I agree with that completely.
You know, so yeah, I guess those would be my final words. But yeah, man, we could talk more about the assailants after.
Sounds good. All right. Well, HouseFlippingTre, where can the lovely viewers find you?
Hey,
What's
man.
the best place for them to find you, I should say?
On the TV coming to you soon. But right now, I would say Instagram, hit me up, HouseFlippingTre. He's going to put it right here with my finger.
Right under there?
Right here. Put it right here, please. HouseFlippingTre, IG. I want to also say you can find me on Facebook. HouseFlippingTre right here. And yeah, man. Put my contact information. My phone number 571-206-8884. You know, once again, 571-206-8884. We're gonna flash it right here. Flash my number. All right. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.